Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a very interesting show in store for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So let's get into today's topic. This is an interesting one, and it's centered on some comments that Gilbert Arenas made on Gil's Arena while he was there with guest Kenyon Martin and Brandon Jennings, right? And they were talking basketball, X's and O's as they usually do, but they were getting into, point guards from Gil's era and how players dominate a game and, what's considered locking down an NBA player, right? Really, this is it, guarding your man, locking him down. Traditionally, when we think of locking down a particular player, we're thinking of basically shutting them out from scoring, right? I put him in a straitjacket. He couldn't get his shot off. He wasn't shooting. Like traditionally, when you think of locking a player down, that's what you think of. But in this particular scenario that these gentlemen were kind of discussing, they brought up a caveat, which was, okay, what if you stop a guy and he scores 8 points, but he gets 20 assists in a game? Did you lock him up? Can we consider that you locking him up? And it got into this big back and forth where Kenyon was like, nah, I locked him up. But then Brandon Jennings was pushing back. And then they got into this whole back and forth. And then Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas apparently caught a whiff of these comments. And he decided to weigh in on the entire situation. But before we even get into what Isaiah had to say, I want to play the back and forth that Gilbert Arenas and these guys had on Gil's Arena first. And then we're going to come back and really get into what Isaiah Thomas had to say and then give you guys our thoughts. Take a listen to these guys here.
He's coming in a different time. My time, any guard that was very high level, they weren't scoring guards, right? So J Kidd, right? Like J Kidd is, he's here. But when it comes to saying, all right, I need to play D, J Kidd is not trying to give you 20, right? If J Kidd is hitting shots, he'd give you 20. But for the most part, he wasn't trying to give you 20 points a game, even if he had a mismatch problem. So most of the time, I'm little compared to him because he's stronger. He gonna go in the post to create the double, to boom, boom, swing it, dunk on. That was his, he was rarely gonna go, same thing with Andre Miller. Andre Miller gets you in the mix down there, but he wasn't gonna try to give you 30, 40, 50, right? Yeah. So, but for the most part, I was coming at everybody knowing that there was really not gonna be a guy who was gonna try to give me the buckets back.
But just because they're not giving you buckets, that don't mean they're not dominating the game.
Yeah, but you rebounding and throwing the ball to somebody else, your triple-double, 10, 12, and 12 ain't got shit to do with me.
Yeah, that adds up for 30 points.
Cool.
Right. But
I'm not guarding your passes to, you sitting there throwing it and zipping it by, and I'm playing defense, got you under control.
That's still on you, though.
No, it's not. It's on the guy that got backdoored. The guy who's guarding Jokic don't see the assist part of it. I don't see that 20 points and assists. So if I'm guarding you and you going to pick and roll, I fought over and got over it, right? And then Kenyon's posting up and you hedge and he spent on it through the lob. That ain't on me. That's on the big who is guarding him. Whoever, you know what I mean? So I can't see these points. You can have 0 points and got 20 assists. And to me, I stopped the you didn't score.
Yeah. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't. 20 assists is that's 40. That's a lot of. That's dominating the game.
You didn't know you was gonna get an assist, right? I'm guarding you. You're trying to break me down one-on-one.
No,
and then someone came off a curl. You passed it. That dude hit a jumper. I don't see that.
Yeah, because you went. I sat on this. You went to your point in and out cross. I sat on that, boom, 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 and you had to drop it off because I didn't set on everything. Yeah. You get an assist, right? I locked you down.
If we're talking about our matchup single-handedly and I gave you 35 and you gave me 8 points, to me, you got dominated.
No.
But if he had 8 points and 15 assists
and 12 rebounds, that's not dominating.
Your rebound is your effort. What I'm saying is, but now you're just collecting a bunch of stats to make it look like you played very well.
So do that.
No, for him. No, for him.
Don't do that.
Him going to get a defense.
I've been with you.
No. What I'm saying is,
been with you.
Him getting the defensive rebound does not.
But don't say you're just collecting stats.
No, what I'm saying is for him, when he's adding all of this in, it's like My matchup
I said the
with
assists.
you, no, what I'm saying is my matchup with you, you can't say because you got a defensive rebound, somehow you impact.
So, I mean, defense, offensive rebounds?
I said
like offensive rebounds.
So you heard Gilbert Arenas and these guys' original comments. So now I want to read what Isaiah Thomas had to say in response to this on Twitter. He said, young players listen to Gil's Arena. Mr. Jennings and Mr. Martin, big respect, are talking about winning team basketball. Playing only for yourself will get you cut from most teams. And yes, Mr. Arenas, that assist counts on your head and your teammates as well. So you heard what Isaiah Thomas had to say there. What are my thoughts on what the NBA legend had to say? I think given the scenario that he pointed out, it's hard to say you locked up a guy if he got 20 assists. Number one. Number two, we also have to look at the nature of the player. What is the player's conventional playing style? Is this a guy that scores 25 points a night? For instance, let's look at point guards. Is this a point guard that scores 25 points a night and averages, 12 assists per night? And you hold him to 8 points and he gets, 3 assists, then you shut him down. But if he's a guy that's a 12-point a game guy, 11 assists a game guy, and then getting you maybe 7 rebounds, and the guy gets 20 assists, and he gets 4 points, you didn't lock him up. So it depends on the nature of the guy you're playing against. Is he a score first guy, or is he a pass guy? To me, if we're talking about the position of a point guard, if a point guard gets 15 or 20 assists in a basketball game, I don't care what you say to yourself, you did not shut him down. You didn't shut him down. To me, shutting down a guy is he was not effective at all, right? Or he was not doing what he customarily would do. You can't say you shut down somebody and the dude got 20 assists. It's 40 freaking points. That's the guy generated 40 points. Now, whether or not you feel like, oh, I stopped him, I discouraged him from shooting, it doesn't matter. Discouraged is not a stat. A stat is 20 assists and those 3s and 2s, and maybe he got him passing the ball got your team into foul trouble. You didn't really stop him. And I think what I'm doing right now is arguing on the behalf of maybe a LeBron fan, because LeBron James is one of those players that certain players, like for instance, Ron Artest, say he's harder to guard. Why? Because a defender like Ron Artest and these guys want you to shoot so they can now defend your shot. But when you have a guy that's mixing it up where he may shoot, but he can also hurt you with his pass. Now, you may stop him from shooting, but if he hit a guy with an open 3, he hurt you still. He may have not made you look bad in particular, but he hurt your team because he got his team a wide open 3-point shot. So you may be shutting him down on an individual level, quote unquote, from stopping him from scoring, but he's still hurting your team. He's still hurting your team. Now, it feels different because when you get a guy score 60 points on a defender, it's demoralizing. And in some cases, it can be demoralizing to a team. It can be. But it's very hard for me to say that you shut down a guy and that guy gets 20 assists in the back. It's very, very hard for me to say that that guy was quote unquote shut down and, he like, I got the most of him. Not really. Right now, you may say, well, he got 10 points, he had 20 assists, but I had 35 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. I got him. Yeah, on the head-to-head matchup, but more chances than not, the guy with the 20 assists probably is going to end up winning that game. Because if you get off 20 assists, you're generating a lot of offense. And truth be told, if a guy is going to hand out 20 assists in a game, at one point you may want to turn that guy into a shooter and play those chances. You may want to turn him, because if you turn him into a shooter, then you only have one guy to think of stopping in terms of throwing his rhythm off and all of that. But if a guy getting off 20 assists, it means that those other guys are also in rhythm as well. So it's going to be very hard to help on that guy. So unless you're an exceptional defender, if all you're thinking of is I'm scoring and he's not scoring as much, but he's putting up more points on the board because he's getting all of his guys into a rhythm. I don't see how you stop that guy. So I kind of agree with Isaiah Thomas and Brandon Jennings on this. So the question to the audience is simply this: whose side are you on? Are you on Gil's side on this, or do you agree with Isaiah Thomas and Brandon Jennings? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comments, and we catch you on the next show. Peace.